Before we get into anything heavy, let me just say this right up front. I'm not a perfect parent. I am not some inspirational superhero with a glowing halo and a perfectly organized sensory bin in every room. I am a dad. I am a learning dad. I am a tired dad. A dad who has absolutely Googled things at 2 o'clock in the morning with one eye open and a child's foot in my ribcage. And honestly, that's kind of why this podcast exists. Welcome to Family Beyond Labels. Trauma, chosen family, messy love, and what it looks like when life does not follow the nice little brochure version that everybody claims to have seen. Because my family has labels. Autism, nonverbal, developmental delay, special needs, adoption, single parent, gay dad, trauma, IEPs, caseworkers, paperwork, more paperwork, and then paperwork that somehow asked for the same paperwork that you thought you had already given them, which you're sure you gave them, but they lost somehow, but that they claimed that they never gave you. And then more paperwork after that. But before any of those labels, we are a family. And that is the whole point. And if you are watching or listening to this because your life also got weird, complicated, beautiful, exhausting, or completely rearranged by love, welcome. You are in the right place. This is Family Beyond Labels. I'm John, and this is where we talk about families that do not fit neatly into boxes. So, episode 1, the Who the Hell I Am and Why Am I Talking to a Camera episode. Like I said, my name is John, I'm a single dad, I am gay, I'm a chef, I make things out of wood, I make things out of food. Sometimes I make things out of pure panic and caffeine. And I became a dad in a way that I do not think that I would... And I became a dad in a way that I do not think I could ever have fully been prepared for. I adopted 2 siblings. My son, who is 10, my son is profoundly autistic. He is nonverbal, he has an intellectual disability, he needs help with the basics of everyday life. Communication looks different for him. The world can be a lot for him, and sometimes the world does not know what to do with someone like him. My daughter is younger. She came in the world with her own medical history, her own developmental delays, and her own big personality. She is sweet, wild, hilarious, stubborn, and somehow 3 feet tall with the emotional authority of a tiny union rep. And me? I was just a guy who thought I had a pretty decent handle on life. Which is adorable. Life heard that and said, that's cute. Here's 2 children, a medical binder, a school system, and a calendar full of appointments. Good luck, champ. But here's the thing. I did not become their dad because I had all the answers. I became their dad because they needed someone who would stay. These 2 glorious children were in the foster system because their parents just did not care enough for them. Let's just put it out there, guys. You know, not everyone is meant to be a parent, and we all know that. But I became their dad, like I said, because someone who wanted to stay, someone who would learn, someone who would show up, someone who would not look at them and only see the difficulty. Because they are not difficult. Their needs are difficult sometimes. The systems are difficult. The lack of support is difficult. The judgment from people who have never lived this life for 5 minutes is difficult. But my kids are pure magic. Complicated magic, yeah. But the kind of magic that occasionally dumps a whole box of crackers into the couch or turns bedtime into a hostage negotiation. But magic nonetheless. I serve family beyond labels because I got tired of the way families like mine are talked about. Sometimes people talk about special needs families like we're some kind of inspirational poster. Like every day is a beautiful lesson in patience and strength. Which, a lot of times it is. And yes, there are beautiful moments. There are moments so small that other people might miss them completely, but to you, they feel like fireworks. A word, a gesture, a new skill, a calm transition, a successful haircut, a holiday. But there are also hard moments. There are meltdowns, there are meetings where you have to fight to be heard. There's more paperwork. There are behaviors that you do not understand yet. There are days where you feel like you're failing everyone, including yourself. There are nights when the house is finally quiet and instead of relaxing, your brain decides to replay every parenting decision you have ever made, like some kind of terrible director's cut. And I wanted a place where we could all talk about all of it. Not just the shiny parts, not just the inspirational parts, not just the look how strong we are parts. Because sometimes we are strong. And sometimes we are eating dinner standing over the sink because sitting down feels like too much commitment. Both of these can be true. Now let me be clear. Labels are not always bad. Labels can help. A diagnosis can open doors. It can help explain behaviors. It can help the schools understand the needs that your kid is needing. It can connect families to services. It can give language to something you have been trying to understand for years. So this podcast is not about pretending labels do not matter. They do. But labels are just tools. They are not the whole story. A label might tell you that my son is nonverbal. It does not tell you how hard he works to communicate. It does not tell you the way he connects, the way he seeks comfort, the way he experiences joy, the way one little moment of connection can completely undo me. A label might tell you that my daughter has delays. It does not tell you how funny she is, how fiercely determined she is, how much personality can fit into one tiny human body, how she can run into a room and somehow make it very clear that she is now in charge, which is pretty much an every night thing. A label might tell you that I am a single gay adoptive dad. It does not tell you the whole journey. It does not tell you what it feels like to build a family outside the traditional blueprint. It does not tell you how much love there is, or how much fear, or how much paperwork. Have I mentioned the paperwork? At this point, I'm really not sure if I adopted children or accidentally applied to own a small airport. But that is why the phrase beyond labels matters to me. Because labels may explain part of the story, but they should never be allowed to erase the person. We're not looking for pity. I do not need someone to look at my kids with sad eyes. I do not need the grocery store sympathy head tilt. You know the one. The little, aww face people make when they do not know what to say, so their neck just gives up and leans sideways. I do not need that. What I want and what I need is understanding. I want people to understand that behavior is communication. I want people to understand that nonverbal does not mean nothing to say. I want people to understand that disability does not erase personality. I want people to understand that adoption is beautiful, but it is also complicated. I want people to understand that trauma does not disappear just because a child is safe now. I want people to understand that parents and caregivers are often doing so much more behind the scenes than anyone sees. And I want people to understand that love is not always soft and pretty. Sometimes love looks like advocating in a meeting when your voice is shaking. Sometimes love looks like cleaning up the same mess for the 4th time and choosing not to lose your mind. Sometimes love looks like learning a new communication system. Sometimes it looks like saying, I do not know what I am doing yet, but I am not leaving. That one matters. I am not leaving. For kids who have been through hard things, that sentence is not small. It is everything. Now, I want to be careful with this podcast. My kids deserve privacy. They deserve dignity. Their stories are connected to mine, but they do not belong entirely to me. So I am not here to put every hard moment of their lives on display. This is not going to be trauma tourism with a ring light. What I can talk about and what I will talk about is my experience as their dad. What I am learning, what I have gotten wrong, what I wish people understood. What helps, what hurts, and what support actually looks like. And I can talk about the emotional side of parenting children with high needs. Because I think a lot of caregivers carry guilt for having feelings. We think that we are not allowed to say it is hard because we love our kids. But loving your kids and being exhausted are not opposites. You can love your child more than anything on earth and still need a break. You can both be grateful and overwhelmed. You can be proud and scared. You can be committed and tired. You can be doing your absolute best and still need a ton of help. That does not make you weak. That makes you human. And honestly, the sooner we stop pretending caregivers are supposed to be some kind of endless emotional batteries, the better off everyone will be. Because even batteries need charging. Except toddler batteries, apparently. Those things are powered by fruit snacks, chaos, and crimes against bedtime. So what is this show going to be? It's going to be conversations. Some episodes will be personal. Some episodes will make you guys cry. Sometimes they'll make me cry. I get very emotional when I talk about my kids. Not because I love them so much, that's a little part of it. Not just because of how difficult it can be raising them, because it can be, but because of everything that is involved with it. There are so many emotions that comes with parenting of special needs kids, and it all needs to be talked about. Some episodes will be about autism and communication. Some will be about adoption. Some will be about being a single parent. Some will be about school systems, IEPs, advocacy, and the weird emotional sport of trying to stay calm in meetings where someone says something so wildly incorrect with complete confidence. Some episodes will be about grief. Some will be about joy. Some will probably be about me losing a battle with my own laundry. Because listen, I can manage complicated medical paperwork, therapy schedules, school communication, work, parenting in a household, but folding laundry? That ain't gonna happen. Do not live this life, but want to understand it better. Teachers, family members, friends, neighbors, people who love someone with a disability, people who are thinking about adoption, people who have no idea what to say, but they care enough to learn. And you are welcome here too, because inclusion does not happen by accident. It happens when people are willing to listen, learn, and adjust. It happens when we stop expecting every person to fit the room and start asking whether the room was built for them in the first place. And if you are a parent or a caregiver watching this, especially if you are in the thick of it right now, I want you to hear this. You are not failing just because it feels hard. You are not failing because you get tired. You are not failing because you sometimes miss the version of life you thought you were going to have. You are not failing because you need help. You are not failing because you do not always know what to do. I don't always know what to do. There are still times where I'm just barely making it day by day. But the fact that you are still trying matters. The fact that you are learning matters. The fact that you are showing up even when you are exhausted matters. And no, that does not mean you should have to do it alone. The world loves to call caregivers strong while giving them almost no support. And I think we need to talk about that. Because you're so strong is nice. But you know what is nicer? Respite care, affordable therapy, schools that listen, doctors who do not rush, communities that show up, friends who do not disappear when life gets complicated, family members who ask, "What do you need?" and then actually stick around for the answer. That is support. Not just compliment. Compliments are cute, but compliments do not watch your kid so you can take a nap. Compliments do not watch your kid in an emergency so you can go to work because you can't afford to stay home and be an all-day caregiver for your child. I'm going to try to be fair. I am going to protect my kid's dignity. I'm going to tell the truth as best as I can from where I stand. I'm going to laugh when I can because sometimes humor is the only thing standing between you and a dramatic floor collapse. And I'm going to keep coming back to this. Our families are more than the labels that are attached to them. My son is more than autism. My daughter is more than her medical history. I am more than a single dad. Your family is more than whatever paperwork, diagnosis, history, struggle, or assumption someone has attached to it. Labels may be a part of the story, but they are not the whole story. And they never get to be the ending. So that is episode 1. That is why I'm here. This is why Family Beyond Labels exists. If this connected with you, I hope you stick around. If you are a caregiver, an adoptive parent, a special needs parent, a teacher, a friend, or just someone trying to understand families like mine a little better, I'm glad you're here. And if family does not fit neatly into the world's little boxes, good. Boxes are overrated anyway. Half the time, my kids would rather play with the box that the thing came in, so maybe they have known the truth all along. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And welcome to Family Beyond Labels. We're not here to erase the labels, but we are here to tell the whole story. So I'm going to end with something that I've recently discovered that I'm trying to teach my kids on how to deal with their emotions. Calm mind, calm body. And whenever you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, keep repeating that to yourself. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.